What's up everyone? DJ 8 here bringing you more DJ stories of my adventures from back in the day. Been compiling all the different questions about that era and looking for the ones that might have a pretty cool and interesting story to it. Well, at least it was crazy when it happened to me or my crew when we were there. Somebody asked, what was the craziest incident at a gig? Oh my god, let me tell you. Let me tell you about this one incident. We once did this gig. It was August 1993, where we DJ'd at this restaurant called Schroeder's Cafe, and it's in downtown Embarcadero area of San Francisco. You know, I actually looked it up, and I was actually amazed to find out it's still there, unlike the majority of these non-club venues we did back then. So anyway, it was a production party. Those are basically those parties thrown by like a producer and not the restaurant or club owner. Basically, it's just the person, they just rent the venue, bring in the DJs, and charge at the door. Actually, there were a lot of production crews starting to pop up later on too. We did work with this guy before, at least once or twice, no issues. Straightforward, cool guy, good and easy business with him. All right, just looking into making some money and hired DJs. As with most of these non-club venues, as the DJs, we always had to bring our own equipment. If you recall my last video, we would bring in our speakers and amps, turntables, lighting, essentially turning the place into a mini nightclub. Remember, it's just a restaurant or a ballroom. There was no like real dance floor. Sometimes there's a little stage area. It wasn't meant for like an actual full-on nightclub. It's actually meant for bands sometimes. We're doing this gig and it's going great. People are partying, having a good time, people drunk dancing, maybe like 150, 200 people in their tops. It's hard to tell. Maybe there were more, I'm really not sure. So this particular event also featured a Daisy Dukes contest. And for those of you that don't know, Daisy Dukes are those super short jean shorts that character Daisy Duke, she used to wear them. It was that TV show in the late 70s to the mid 80s, Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, those shorts. It became a thing in the 90s where women started wearing them. Yeah, the 90s was every bit of crazy, but at the same time cool in fashion. Well, except for the backward clothes. Back to the actual party, which was, like I said, it was going good. Everything was running smooth. People partying. And as you can see on the flyer, there was all these other guest DJs, and we all did our sets and everything. And then the time came for the actual Daisy Dukes contest. So for the contest, the girls, whoever signed up at the door that night, we're already up on stage, ready and waiting for the event to start. And the MC was getting things together, trying to hype up the crowd and organize whoever's on stage. You know, you go here, go there, everyone chill, turn down the music, turn up the lights. And the guys in the crowd are just pushing and shoving and just rushing the stage just so they could get a better look. Or maybe one of them had their girlfriend on stage, who knows. The contest didn't even start yet. Well, alcohol and hormones is never a good mix. And all it did was take one guy to get mad at another guy for being shoved. Yeah, you can imagine. So these two guys, they start beating on each other. And the MC's on the stage and he's yelling in the mic. He's like, hey, squash it, squash it. Then I guess one of the guy's friends jumps in to help him. So I guess that's like a 2-on-1 there. And of course that ain't gonna happen if this other guy has his friends there. So the other guy's friends jump in. And then another. And then probably the wrong person who couldn't get out of the way gets hit and gets pissed off. Decides to join in, and you know, like in the movies where the brawl starts sucking people in and who were never even part of it to begin with. Yeah, I mean, there were probably a few extra participants in that brawl that I probably didn't know happened. Oh yeah, and one of the girls in the contest, who was on stage at the time, was actually my cousin visiting from Canada. She probably shouldn't have come with us. Technically, she wasn't even supposed to be there, but being she was visiting and I wanted to be the cool cousin, hey, why don't you come to the party? We're the DJs, you know, just get in with the DJs, right? By the way, we did find out later on from her that the absolute safest place during this whole brawl, it was actually to be on the stage, because the stage was like, whatever, 4.5 feet above the dance floor, and she's just looking down at the brawl like, oh yeah, cool, look at that, look at that. The scary part here was stopping the fight from spilling over into the DJ area. Remember, it's our equipment, all of it. And it's not a real nightclub with the real DJ area. We are not protected by a booth or a room or any of that stuff. We're just at the side of the stage with our backs to the wall. There's our speakers, our lights, our amp rack, our turntables, which was on top of the amp rack on the coffin, our trussing, and bodies are slowly making their way, you know, all around the place, sometimes in our direction. And one of our guys, he grabs a mag light, right? Longer than this one. He grabs a mag light and he starts to shove people back into the fray, kind of like a lumberjack in a lumberjack match in wrestling. It was actually really funny because at one point in time, he thinks he was responsible for probably shoving one guy back in, and he actually ends up getting beat on by whoever was in there. And he was just trying to escape or maybe get out of the way for all we know. But our guys was just like, hey, just get away from our equipment. And I'm screaming for my cousin, asking where he's at. My buddy is just telling people to, it's like, back up, get him back. Get him the fuck out of there. You could see the speakers moving a bit. And also, according to the guy with the mag light, there was one guy in the fight, he was actually using a security guard. And of course, the security guard is doing the best as he can. He was using the security guard as a shield to throw random items at people that were in the fight. And because this is a restaurant, there were like, you know, salt and pepper shakers. I don't know where he grabbed them. Like they were just put on the side. And he was just throwing them at whoever behind the security guard who's still trying to break it up. And he's talking all sorts of smack, going, yeah, you stop that. And he throws something. You stop that. And he throws something. And he's just behind the security guard the whole time. And again, whole crew screaming, get people back. My friends pushing people back with the mag light. Me screaming, where the F is my cousin? Well, eventually, the cops do come and break everything up. I didn't see the part when they actually came into the club because, again, we were in the back. And they just shut the party down. The contest never got off. Actually, nobody won anything. We closed up early for that night. We just packed up and left once everything was clear. We just wanted to make sure everybody got out safe. I'm not sure who was arrested or whatnot. We were more concerned with our equipment and our safety of my cousin. Yeah, those were the good times. Okay, so there you have it. Craziest incident that ever happened at a gig. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm certainly glad I still had that footage. I've got more stuff coming slowly but surely as I find more treasures from back in the day. Till next time.